In September of 2022, two hunters entered a stretch of remote public land expecting nothing more than a quiet day in the woods. The footage comes from the Hunting Public, a channel normally centered around hunting trips and outdoor experiences, with no animals harmed in this episode. On September 25th, Nick and his hunting partner Ted woke early and hiked deep into the area, nearly 1.5 miles in, hoping to reach their spot without being noticed. After seeing no activity for hours, they relocated later that afternoon to another remote location.
So he's got lunch there.
Is he?
Kind of looks like a fly or something in there.
Good for him.
He's gone.
Little friend.
Just out here living, you know?
Livin.
Just kidding.
The older you do get, people are going to try to tell you what to do. You just got to keep living, man.
Livin.
Yep, Wooderson said that. Alright, so me and Dad are set up. We ended up getting almost 1.5 miles back in here. We're walking this ridge top like we were talking about. It ended up being 3 super fresh scrapes. I mean, they're just like completely pawed down. No leaves sitting on them or nothing. So we jumped up in a tree. Pretty dang high up in a tree. Yeah, real high. And we're actually like directly above one of the scrapes.
Then they heard a man yelling somewhere in the distance. Initially, it sounded like someone venting anger or arguing, but the situation escalated quickly.
Right before that last gunshot, it sounded like a truck revving up or something, in gravel, throwing gravel or something. Yeah. And then that gunshot was like, that one sounded like a rifle. That last one, the other one sounded like a handgun. That last one, like, pow.
We could make out a few things they were saying. It wasn't good.
Things we won't repeat on here, but it was like blood-curdling screaming. I've never witnessed anybody screaming like that. Something not good's going on. Imagine if we would have ended up warping them on it, how close we would be to that.
We might have been able to see it. That's terrifying.
That is wicked.
Well, hopefully nobody got shot, but sure sounded like somebody did.
Sounds like somebody might have got killed over there.
To them, it sounded like a murdered and enraged man screaming, "I hate you," followed by multiple gunshots and then nothing. In a remote area like that, the realization was terrifying. They left the woods immediately.
Yes. I've heard some stuff that I feel needs to be reported to the police department.
Okay.
I was hunting, me and a buddy were hunting, and at about 6:45, we heard gunshots, which is not uncommon, but then for 30 minutes straight or so, there was lots of screaming and just people, obscenities, and it sounded like something really bad was going on over there, and there was 20 or more gunshots ended up happening. And then I could hear vehicles taking off and coming to a halt, and we didn't know what to do, and we had no service, so we're trying to report and see if anything had been reported about there. I have pins dropped on a map about how far we were from where we think this was occurring. My name is Nicholas Andrews.
Made it back to their vehicle and contacted authorities as soon as they had service. In the days that followed, follow-up calls were made, but no evidence was found and no incident was confirmed. The case was eventually closed, leaving only unanswered questions about what really happened deep in those woods that day. People can be just as unpredictable as the wilderness, and for Jasko, the danger inside the Devil's Forest was impossible to clearly define. Jasko is a filmmaker and urban explorer known for documenting unsettling investigations, from abandoned prisons and asylums to van camping in some of the eeriest forests in the United States, with his friends Chris and Ben. Among all the locations he's explored, the Devil's Forest stands apart, a place infamous for violent history, strange deaths, and unexplained disappearances. On September 16, 2025, Jasko and his friend Chris decided to camp in the middle of this forest. At first, the night seemed calm, but the atmosphere quickly grew oppressive.
I just heard my name being called from down the trail.
While walking a trail, Jasko suddenly heard his name being called in Chris's voice, even though Chris was standing nearly a quarter mile away in the opposite direction. Confused and alarmed,
But Chris is in that direction. Chris? But if he's down there, then... What the f? Yo! Who's down there? Hello?
this wasn't his first disturbing experience there. Years earlier, during a winter camp with his friend Ben, they had been woken by footsteps crunching outside their tent.
Scottish. Someone's coming.
Followed moments later by a scream echoing across the forest.
Oh! Ben! Ben! No, what the fuck was that? Yeah.
When they checked, they found fresh footprints pressed into a log on a frozen lake prints that appeared suddenly.
What? Look on that log right there. Holy. Ben? Those are feet prints. Look at that. What? No.
Back in the present, as Jasko and Chris prepared to sleep, they heard the sound of glass shattering outside their van, yet nothing appeared broken.
Chris?
Yo.
Chris, did you hear that?
Yeah, what was that?
Somebody just break a fucking window? What was that? What was that?
That was so loud.
Something there?
I don't know.
But Chris, what would make that glass noise?
I don't know. That's what I'm wondering. It doesn't make sense. It makes no sense.
Is someone out here like messing with us?
The confusion turned to fear moments later when they heard what sounded unmistakably like a gunshot.
No. Chris!
That
was a gunshot.
That was absolutely.
That was a gunshot. Did you see anything?
There's a light. There's a
What?
fucking light right there.
Whoa!
What's that?
Oh shit!
What is that? There's someone out
Chris,
there?
what the fuck? Yo,
What is that?
yo, there's someone out there. There's someone out there.
There's actually someone out
Yo,
there.
what the fuck? What the
Hang
fuck?
on.
Hold on.
What the f?
Bro, there's someone out there. Bro, that's a light.
Is it moving?
That's a fucking light. It's moving. Chris, it's moving. There's someone outside the van right now.
Why? What are they doing? There actually has been somebody here the whole time.
What the fuck?
Almost immediately, a moving light appeared through the trees, circling their van and confirming that someone or something was nearby.
Bro, if they have a gun and we're fucking hearing shit.
Fearing the person could be armed, they abandoned the campsite immediately, fleeing barefoot through the forest in the middle of the night and not stopping until they were miles away. Whether the encounters were paranormal or caused by real people remains unclear, but what is certain is that Jasko entered the Devil's Forest twice, and both times he was forced to leave in fear for his life. What was supposed to be a calm night by the water became one of the most disturbing experiences Brendan ever had on the road. Brendan, the creator behind the UK channel Brendan Explores, is known for documenting van life, wild camping, simple cooking, and quiet overnight park-ups. During a late-night stealth camping trip to Lake Vyrnwy in Wales, he arrived hoping for a peaceful lakeside stay, cooked his meal, settled into his van, and prepared to sleep, believing the area was empty.
I can see headlights.
The night felt still and calm until he noticed headlights cutting through the darkness. A vehicle slowly approached his van and stopped nearby. Moments later, heavy footsteps could be heard circling outside. A stranger began knocking on different panels of the van, as if testing for a reaction. Without saying a single word, Brendan remained completely silent, frozen in place, until the footsteps eventually faded and the person disappeared.
Who the was that? They just drove off. Didn't shout anything. Didn't ask if anyone's in here. Gave a couple knocks, shone the light in, and drove off. Shit. I thought someone would come back then, Jesus. What do I do? What do I do?
Hours later, around 3:30 in the morning, another vehicle arrived, this time a van. Although not shown on camera, Brendan later explained that it sat there for nearly 15 minutes with the engine running and headlights aimed directly at his window. No one exited. No one spoke. Unsure whether moving or staying still was safer, Brendan remained frozen in bed until the van finally drove away.
Well, that's one hell of a wake up I've ever had one. Oh, jeez.
With dawn less than an hour away, exhausted and shaken, he admitted he only managed fragments of sleep, replaying the knocking, the footsteps, and the blinding headlights over and over again. Whether it was locals attempting to scare him off or something far more sinister remains unknown, but the quiet lakeside became the backdrop for one of the most unsettling nights he had ever experienced while stealth camping.